Welcome back. Let's begin our conversation with something we heard happened in Lagos yesterday. Apparently there was an incident of shooting of personnel of the FRSC in Lagos by a police officer, and they said this was during an enforcement operation trying to track down fake number plates. Well, we have joining us from Lagos, the Lagos Sector Commander of the FRSC Corps Commander Kehinde Hamzat. Good morning to you.
Good morning. It's my pleasure being here.
All right, so talk to us. Our condolences, first of all, with the shooting that we heard about. But just so you can give us a brief detail of what exactly happened.
Yes, in line with the directive from the Corps Marshal that we should clamp down on fake number plates because they are becoming a security threat to the country at large. So in that case, we decided to carry out a nationwide enforcement. So in Lagos, and we have series of offenses, but this is a particular targeted offense, targeting the issue of fake number plates. So myself and my men from different commanders was personally there. So we gave an initial talk to the men. We briefed them on the do's and don'ts on the various things. And of course, we have members of the press even present during the operations. So having discussed this, we shared ourselves into various segments to ensure safety. Unfortunately, I was at one side of the road. At the other side of the road, I had a gunshot. Getting there, I saw that one of my men was already down in the pool of blood. We had no choice other than rush him to the hospital. To the glory of God, we were able to arrest the, I wouldn't say if it's a serving or if it's a police or no, but he was putting on a police uniform. So it was disarmed and it was taken to custody. The driver of the vehicle was also taken to custody. So basically that was what happened, and we later took our own personnel to the Accident and Emergency Center in Lagos, after which it was stabilized, and we took him to Lagos State Teaching Hospital, LASUTH, yesterday.
So is he getting better?
Yes, at least he's been stabilized. We've been able to talk to him yesterday. I left even the hospital around 1:30 a.m. this morning. So, but he's really getting better.
I mean, since arrests were made, what do you think caused the shooting?
Really, I just want to believe it's one of these. Among members of staff, even in FRSC, we have just one or two who will be cankerworm to the members of the public, because I wouldn't have seen any reason for that shooting. And I must commend the Lagos State Commissioner of Police. He quickly swift into action, and of course, he sent his Deputy Commissioner in charge of operations and even the Assistant Commissioner in charge of operations directly to my office, where we discussed, and of course, the police personnel has been sent to the Commissioner of Police for identification, and he has been taken to custody. And the Commissioner briefed me yesterday that the man has been taken to custody and he will be tried probably today. So the Commissioner of Police, Lagos State, is in charge of this other activity. So the arm recovered had also been handed over to the Commissioner through the Deputy Commissioner of Police.
I mean, it's such a worrying story. And, you know, we've heard about these sorts of impasses between different sectors of law enforcement, and shooting and the recklessness of it all. Well, we do, at least based on what we've heard you say today, there's going to be investigation. Someone is going to have to face the law for what has happened. But let's talk about these fake number plates. Do you have any idea where they're coming from? And what's the purpose of them flooding the streets?
Precisely why we're carrying out this special operation is to nip the whole thing at the bud. Precisely, we have not really traced those people producing these fake number plates. And by the time we arrest as many of them as possible, definitely we'll get to the root of it, because that is the main target. Those people caught will be appropriately prosecuted, because they should be able to tell us how they got these number plates. So this is our target, and we're not going back. It's a nationwide operation. It's a directive from my Corps Marshal, and there's no going back.
What are the fake number plates used for? Are they used for robberies? What's the game here, in your view?
You can't precisely say, but majorly what we think is they are using, because most of these number plates are more from the presidency. They will say, you will see them labeled presidency, and NYC, NANS, and some other things. Knowing fully well that these are institutions, established institutions, that probably law enforcement agents wouldn't want to disturb. But we now discover that they use all these things to perpetrate evil, different evils. And it's becoming a security threat to the country. When you check these numbers on the database, you discover that they are nowhere to be found. They are not anywhere. So when they misbehave right there, you start tracing a vehicle that you cannot identify. So we are trying to pick them, as many of them as possible, investigate and prosecute it appropriately.
That's a very strange dynamic. I mean, it does feel sometimes like criminals and criminal activity keeps evolving. So the idea is to have a number plate that gives you some kind of credibility, and then you can not be stopped or, not... I don't even understand that, because no matter what your number plate is, if there's supposed to be a stop and search, it should be stopped, regardless of what name. Could they be buying into something that happens with the men from law enforcement, especially from the FRSC, who, when they see government plates, feel the need to just salute and let the person pass? And is there something that you may be doing in that regard? So there's no loophole. I mean, if people weren't getting away with having those kinds of number plates and no one stopping them or asking them any questions, then this crime wouldn't exist. What do you think?
It's just unfortunate that people think it's business as usual. This particular operations is not the conventional people who go on patrol that you can just harass. Like yesterday operations, I was personally there. So at your level, at your height, I don't see what you will tell me. I don't see what you use to lure me into letting you go. Like, I stopped a very senior government functionary yesterday, a government official. And she identified herself. I said, Madam, I appreciate you, I respect your person. But the bottom line is, can I see the allocation paper for this vehicle? It was getting to a stage of embarrassment. She was like, why are you doing this? You should at least respect my office. I said, Madam, I can use my own official vehicle to take you to your office. But there must be identity, there must be reliability, there must be link of this number plate to this vehicle. And of course, it took the head of that establishment, I don't want to be specific now, to come to the office, bring the required papers before we were able to release that vehicle. We're not targeting individual. It's not about the executive in that vehicle. It doesn't matter your height. A number plate is to identify a vehicle, such that if anything happens, you'll be able to link it up. A situation where you cannot do that, then there's a problem. So there are a lot of senior officers that will be on the road to check all this menace now, and it will be a continuous exercise. So perpetrators of this evil should desist from doing so. Another thing that is common is some retired even government officials who are allocated with such number plates, they don't give back this number to the ministry. They continue to use it in the name of being respected, in the name of I'm a top government officials. So it's like people at the top ends of affairs are many a times culpable. So they may not even, some may not even know. The drivers or the head of driver of every establishment should be able to ensure that a number allocated to a vehicle is not transferred to another vehicle. And when a chief executive is off the system, or probably the vehicle is sold on auction, they should remove all this paraphernalia of offices, so that people who are supposed to be respected should be respected, so that the right number should be allotted or allocated to the right vehicle, not shifting the head of tie on the neck of Kehinde. It doesn't work that way. So these are some of the things we are looking into. There are a lot of them out there, and we are not going back.
I mean, it's a very important example that you put out there, the fact that you stopped someone who considered herself high profile and whatnot. But how are you cascading that behavior down to your men?
Yes. You see, charity, they say, begins at home. And you lead by example. A situation where they see me operate that way, even when I'm not there, they would definitely relate in such a manner. And there are patrol rank bracket officers. For the purpose of this enforcement, we form always a squad, which must be led by a senior officer. And by the time we do it continually, it becomes a norm in the system, so that everybody will be carried along to ensuring that this is what should be done. And every road user, every vehicle owner will understand that it is not business as usual. The new sheriff in the town, my co-marshal, Malam Shehu Mohammed, MNI, FTA, etc., has said no going back. And we are government agencies, we are paramilitary agencies that are dogmatic to instructions. So since he said no going back, we all say no going back. It's an order that must be followed. Thank you.
I want to be able to talk about, the interface between the FRSC and the commuters, just so people can understand what the rules are. Because in the minds of many people, oh, you shouldn't stop me. Do you have a warrant to stop me? You cannot just stop my car. And then we've seen some embarrassing situations in Lagos and in other parts of the country where you see an FRSC person climb on top of a car, trying to stop a car that has refused to stop. Just so we can have a breakdown from you, and you can take your time to do this. What are the rules of engagement between the FRSC and commuters on the roads?
You see, when we say do not die, it is not because you are so special. If we say don't kill yourselves, it is not because you are so special. But you must not die because there are some responsibilities that you must not leave behind. You are a breadwinner, and of course, you need, some people are looking up to you. Now you, out of your sheer carelessness, take your own life. Those people who are supposed to be great become a menace to members of the public. That's why we're saying do not die. To the road safety officials, don't forget, we were established with the sole purpose of eliminating road traffic crashes, if not completely, at least to minimize, to give it to the barest minimum, and clear the road of obstruction, prompt rescue services, and all the while. These are the things we do. And we engage members of the public, drivers, commuters. We engage them on the proper use of road. So our relationship with them is simply that they should do what they are supposed to do so that the community can be a better place to stay. And part of what we are doing is part of what, why we are here, to educate and enlighten them on the proper use of road, on the fact that they should understand that we are not enemies, we are their friends, and we relate very well. We don't have anything against individuals. After all, we don't have personal fracas between ourselves. It's a matter of the job, and if I am being paid from your tax to ensure safety of lives and property, I think you should appreciate me rather than bullying me. Now, we engage them at different levels. Before now, we go to the motor parks and talk to drivers, and we discover that it was not completely working because not everybody are there at the park. So the last year, 2024 Ember Month, was done at, in form of town hall meeting, where we have captains of industries, everybody represented, so that we can drive it home. Don't forget, we go to churches and mosques in form of domesticated PEs. We do even pre-patrol brief, early morning cry at various motor parks. We talk to commuters. It might interest you, so that everybody would participate in this act of safety. FRSC launched a mobile app recently, which is all-encompassing, where commuters, after downloading that application and logging on, should be able to even caution drivers. On that application, there are a series of menus that can be used. So I will be glad if every member of the public have this application. What are we talking about? It has a speed monitor, which will beep immediately if driver is speeding beyond the expected speed limit. So it is expected that when it beeps, you should be able to caution your driver that this speed is becoming excessive. These are some of our contributions to members of the public, passengers, to be able to talk to drivers. And of course, there are these various black spots. Black spots are areas that are prone to crash, or crashes as the case may be. So we have geocoded the entire country with all the bad spots that the moment you are approaching any, you will be prompted that you are approaching a black spot. So you, as a driver, as a commuter, you will be able to prompt or caution yourselves that there is danger ahead. Drive with caution. So on that same application, we have our road traffic safety transport safety standardization scheme, where you can have information about your vehicle. We have driver's license hand. The most important one that I want the members of the public to take note of is the emergency services, where you can report crashes, where you can report diversion, where you can report anything that is absurd. When you go to the emergency side of the portal, when you click onto it, it will take you, you can report real-time events. For example, if there is a crash somewhere, you should be able to describe the crash and inform. There are people that are checking real-time at the back end, and they will inform the nearest command that this is happening. That is engaging members of the public, directly or indirectly, using technology. So there are other things. Your driver's license, the driver's license centers, you can see them. Approved driving school, they are there on that portal. There is a reminder on that same portal, whereas you can know when your driver's license will be expiring, your vehicle papers will be expiring, in form of something that will aid you to remember a lot of things. You can listen to the National Traffic Radio on that same application. Please, I want to admonish members of the public to make a juicy and judicious use of that application for the benefit of humanity. So we really engage them. Not everybody will listen to us as we're speaking, but the majority who listens should help us sell it out. Ministries, agencies, captains of industries are not too big like any other application. Download FRSC mobile app. It is for the safety. Thank you.
I want to be able to get the update on what's happening with the FRSC and the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS. We're seeing it back and forth, at least in the media, where they're threatening to shut down your offices if they feel like you're bullying their people because of this NVIS program that you have going on. And we saw the response from the Corps Marshal of the FRSC saying, we're not deterred. We're not going to lower our job or our standards because you're upset. Talk a little bit to us about the relationship between the FRSC and NANS.
Honestly, we have a smooth relationship. I don't know where that is coming from, because when you, about 2 weeks ago, the Lagos State chapter of the National Association of Nigerian Students visited my office, and we related very well. Most things they don't know, we have to enlighten them to make them understand that this is what is happening. Okay, you can imagine somebody using non-number plates, and they use it for kidnapping. And you want to assume that this is a number plate attached to the NANS. You see, I many a times wonder when you are in...
Sorry, I don't want us to lose that. Did that happen? Did you get any car that was used for kidnapping that had a NANS number plate on it?
It did happen. And of course, it was publicized. It did happen. So all these things, we're trying to save the hearts of lots of Nigerians. Unfortunately, we were all students at the time. It might interest you to know that I was a speaker of a school. So the way we students reason, we should engage and collaborate to be able to get the real picture. We are not, I mean, we are parents. We have children in school. We were once students. We are not after them. They should do the right thing because they are the leaders of tomorrow. We are not having any face-off, and we're not ready to have one. They should go to every state of the federation. They have different chapters. In fact, their national body can visit the office of the Corps Marshal and ask questions rather than unnecessary face-off. I don't think there's any need for that. There's no need. Those of Lagos State chapter have come. I have engaged them. We spoke reasonably. It could be cascaded to every other state. And at national level, the core public education officer is there. They can ask their questions. We are not after them. We are not against them. We were once students, and we still have children who are students. So we are together in the area of safety and security. So they should appreciate the fact that we are ready to work with them, but they should work within the ambit of the law.
And finally, before we let you go, just an update on the thoughts of weaponizing the FRSC. Where is that conversation right now?
Well, it's a policy issue at that top level. In my opinion, personal opinion, if FRSC bear arms, fine. If the powers that be says no, we'll still continue to do our job. So it's something beyond my reach. It's something beyond what I can debate It's strictly a policy issue that will be discussed at that level. At least we know it has gone through the second reading or thereabout. So let's leave it to the people, the powers that be, to decide if we should bear harm. Bearing harm does not make or mar us. Not bearing it does not make or mar us. We'll continue to do our job. The people who are bearing harm at the time were not bearing harm. Their bearing harm does not impede or jeopardize their jobs. So we only feel, even the bearing of harm, we're not saying everybody should bear harm. For example, the Nigerian Correctional Services, they are bearing harm, but not everybody only have armed squad, like some other agencies too. You don't see even civil defense, Dictom and Ari don't bear arm. They have an armed squad. All these other agencies, they have armed squad. So it's to protect our facilities and to protect us from unnecessary engagement. Security is key. There is no enforcement spelled without the word force. So the kingdom of heaven, they say sovereign violent and violent ticketed by force. It is not for the purpose of harassing or engaging members of the public. It is to protect our facilities, like the commander had said earlier. So as to where it is left to members at the top over there. Thank you.
I want to thank you very much, Mr. Hamzat, Kehinde Hamzat, for being with us on the program and for your insights on a lot of these topics that were brought up. The Lagos Sector Commander of the FRSC. Thanks again for being with us.
My sincere pleasure. Thank you for having me.